International Organization, BRICS, Part 1. The topics covered in this lecture: BRICS, formation and its background, history, objective, BRICS and G7, New Development Bank and Breton Woods organizations, BRICS contingent reserve arrangement. BRICS stand for Brazil, Russia, India, China and South Africa. Association of 5 major emerging national economies, which challenges the existing world economic order dominated by developed countries. Why the BRIC was formed? What was the background? In the previous video, we have discussed about Breton Woods organizations: IMF, International Monetary Fund, World Bank, which are the existing institutions, and all these organizations are dominated by world developed countries. That means more than 60% of the voting power are shared by world richest countries, and the poorest nations have negligible role in decision making. And these organizations are not a democratic system. Voting power are determined by the quota system, and US has the highest voting power, so it is not possible to take any important decision without US consent. So there is US domination in decision making. The managing director of International Monetary Fund is always a European, and the president of World Bank is always from USA. This is the convention. So we cannot say it is a democratic system. During the time of Bretton Woods Conference, US had the dominant role in the world economy. But now the economic order is changing. Fastest growing economies like India, China, Russia, Brazil are emerging. But still, the Bretton Woods organization are dominated by US and the other countries from Europe. The interest and ambition of these developing nations are neglected by Bretton Woods organizations. So, there is a need for a new organization which protects the interests of developing nations. This is one of the important reasons behind the formation of BRIC, that is the association of fastest growing economies in the world: Brazil, Russia, India and China. BRICS is the acronym for an association of 5 major emerging national economies: Brazil, Russia, India, China and South Africa, comprising 43% of world population, 30% of world GDP and 17% of world trade. The first 4 were grouped as BRIC, that is Brazil, Russia, India and China, and in 2010 South Africa joined. After this association is called as BRICS. BRICS history. In 2001, the term BRIC was coined by Jim O'Neill, chairman of Goldman Sachs Asset Management. The acronym BRIC represents the rapidly developing nation Brazil, Russia, India and China. In 2001, the term BRIC was coined by Jim O'Neill, chairman of Goldman Sachs Asset Management. What is Goldman Sachs? A multinational financial company that engages in global investment banking and other financial services. Goldman Sachs, a multinational financial company that engages in global investment banking and other financial services. Jim O'Neill, a British economist who coined the acronym BRIC for the developing nations Brazil, Russia, India and China, in his publication Building Better Global Economics, BRICS. Jim O'Neill coined the acronym BRIC, which represent Brazil, Russia, India and China, the rapidly developing nations, and these developing countries to represent the shift in global economic power away from the developed G7 countries. About G7 countries: an association of wealthiest nations, a group consisting of France, Canada, Germany, Italy, Japan, United Kingdom and USA. represent more than 64% of the net global wealth. And these countries have dominance in decision making in International Monetary Fund and World Bank because they represent the largest donors without much consultation with poor and developing countries. Jim O'Neill predicted the emerging economies of Brazil, Russia, India and China will take the central stage in the world economy over the next 2 to 3 decades instead of G7 countries. That means a power shift from G7 countries to BRICS: Brazil, Russia, India and China. Now these G7 countries are playing central role in world economy. According to Jim O'Neill, there will be a power shift from G7 countries to BRIC nation over the next 2 decades. BRICS history. In 2001, the term BRIC was coined by Jim O'Neill. In 2006, the foreign ministers of the BRIC states met in New York City. In 2009, a diplomatic meeting in Yekaterinburg, Russia. In 2010, South Africa joined. After this association came to known as BRICS: Brazil, Russia, India, China and South Africa. In 2011, South African President Jacob Zuma attended the BRICS summit in China. 2009, the summit was held in Russia. 2010 in Brazil. In 2011, the summit was held in China. This was the first 5-member meeting. South Africa, the new member, was included. In 2012, India. 2013, South Africa. 2014, Brazil, Port Plaza Declaration, which caused the establishment of new development bank and BRICS contingency reserve. 2015, Russia. 2016, India, that was held recently in Goa. It was a joint summit with BIMSTEC. BIMSTEC, Bay of Bengal Initiative for Multi-Sectoral Technical and Economic Cooperation, an international organization involving a group of countries in South Asia and Southeast Asia to promote economic and social progress of the Bay of Bengal region. BIMSTEC is an international organization intended to promote economic and social progress of the Bay of Bengal region. A joint summit was held with BIMSTEC in Goa in last October, and the 2017 BRICS summit is going to held in China. Now, BRICS and New Development Bank. New Development Bank, formerly known as BRICS Development Bank, was established in 2014 at the 6th BRICS Summit held in Port Plaza, Brazil. And its objective: funding infrastructure projects in the developing countries and meet the aspiration of millions through sustainable development. New Development Bank was established by BRICS nations: Brazil, Russia, India, China and South Africa. It was established in 2014 at the 6th BRICS Summit held in Port Plaza, Brazil. Objective: funding infrastructure projects in the developing countries and sustainable development. New Development Bank, established by the BRICS nation, formerly known as the BRICS Development Bank. Treaty signed in July 2014. Treaty in force in July 2015. Headquarters Shanghai, China, and the President K.V. Kamath. Now, New Development Bank and Bretton Woods organizations. In Bretton Woods organization, the voting power is determined by the capital share. In the case of International Monetary Fund, higher the quota system, higher the voting power. And UN has the highest voting power. No important decision can be taken without US consent. And in the case of World Bank, each member country receives share votes plus basic vote. So higher the share and higher the voting power. And these organizations are dominated by rich countries. These are not a democratic system. The managing director of IMF is always a European and the president of World Bank is always a US citizen. New Development Bank is more democratic and transparent than Bretton Woods organization. There is no quota system and equal voting power is ensured by its members. Bretton Woods organizations are dominated by wealthiest nations. The interests of developing nations haven't been protected. New Development Bank is more democratic and transparent than Bretton Woods organization. There is no quota system and all members enjoy equal voting power. We can say New Development Bank is created from the disenchantment of developing nations that is caused by uneven and undemocratic practice in Bretton Woods organization. BRICS Contingent Reserve Arrangement. BRICS Contingent Reserve Arrangement was established during 7th BRICS Summit in July 2015. Objective: assistance in balance of payment crisis. In previous videos, we have discussed balance of payment crisis and the assistance by IMF during balance of payment crisis. When a country borrows from International Monetary Fund, it puts some conditionalities. The borrower country agrees to adjust its economic policies, such as liberalization, privatization, etc. Sometimes these conditionalities counteract with the developing programs in this borrower country and create detrimental effects. For more details, watch International Monetary Fund Balance of Payment Assistance. BRICS contingent reserve arrangements also support through liquidity and precautionary instruments in response to actual or potential short-term balance of payment crisis. Support through liquidity means provides loans and precautionary instruments. And BRICS contingent reserve arrangement put more liberal conditionalities than International Monetary Fund. It is expected that New Development Bank and BRICS contingent reserve arrangement can create a challenge to the International Monetary Fund. We will discuss more about BRICS